Welcome everyone to another learning session of Java. We started from nowhere. We first discussed about a little bit about algorithms, and we got started with the world of programming. Then we slowly started with Java basics, and we covered just enough basics so that we can get into the data structures world, not completely. So we covered many topics, many core topics such as classes, objects, methods, variables, and all those things. And also in last class, we learned about operators and operator overloading with plus operator and few things. And today we are going to learn about decision control and looping constructs. And if time permits, we will also get started with the data structures, arrays and array lists. But otherwise, we will keep it for next class. And after arrays, array lists, we will be actually getting started with some wonderful data structures and algorithms problems. Are you ready to get started? So we will go to our Java fundamentals course, and we will go to operators, decision and looping constructs. And here we will go to our nodes. And we have already gone through expressions, operands, operators, short circuit operators, prefix and postfix operators, operator plus overloading. And now we are going to decision control constructs in Java. Decision control statements can change the execution flow of a program. Decision control statements in Java are if statement, conditional operator, and switch statement. So as always, we will first go through a little bit of theory and we will practice this. Okay, so now if statement, the if statement is followed by a body block. The if statement evaluate logical expressions and make a decision whether to execute the block or based on whether the logic of the expression returns a true or false, not to execute it. For example, if condition do something. So if condition is true, then this do something will happen. Otherwise, this do something will not happen. If the condition is true, the if block is executed, else not. The condition should be a Boolean variable or a logical expression that will evaluate the Boolean. And in Java, Boolean values are true and false. If we specify anything other than a Boolean variable or an expression that doesn't evaluate to true or false, you will get a compilation error. In some languages, 0 and 1 will also work in such cases. But in Java, it has to be something that evaluates to true or false. Even if you pass a string variable with a value of true or false, you will still get a compilation error. The curly braces are not required when only one statement is there. It is applicable for if, or else clause. But it is always a good practice to use curly braces to enclose if body for better clarity and to avoid accidental mistakes. So if, else. It is very simple. If a condition, then there is a block. Else if another condition and another block. Else if another condition, another block, and finally else. So you can have any number of else ifs, and finally you can put a else. So if if condition 1 is true, then this is executed. If condition 2 is true, then this is executed. The condition 3 is true, then this is executed. And finally, if no conditions are true, then the else will be executed. Only one of the if or else if blocks will be executed for the first true condition. If no if or else if conditions are true, then the else block is executed. Let us copy paste this if block. And I will copy paste our code. So I have not defined any condition, right? So what condition will I do? I can say Boolean condition 1 equal to 1 equal to 2. Can I put? Okay, I'll put similar conditions for rest of them also. So instead of these comments, let us put some print statements. If I run this program, what will be the output? You can mention in the chat. Let me run. Okay, it is condition for. So now let us remove these brackets. Okay, so if I run now, it will be an error because this else is alone. So let me go back to our previous curly braces. Let me put another statement here. If I run, what will be the output? So this is a mental exercise for you, right? Few things will be very easy. Few things may not be that easy. Okay, let us try running it. It is condition 4, right? I just added something to may confuse you, and you all fall for that since I added something new. Okay, so always look into what is happening on the screen. Okay, so I might play tricks just to make sure that you are attending and then you understand everything clearly. Are we good to go? Let us remove this condition. How do I just remove this condition alone? I can put this condition in a comment block. So I start a comment block by /* and I end this comment block by */. If I execute this, what will be the output? Quickly tell me. Let me check if there is any error. There is no error. It is just that you will not get any output. Okay, so there is no rule that one of the if conditions has to match. If nothing is matching, it will not print anything at all. Now, let me remove all these brackets. So this one I will just comment out. I'll just comment out all these, or I'll just remove them. I'll remove all these brackets. Okay, so now you know it will be an error. Okay, so what if I, you are actually getting a clue here because I am using IntelliJ. So now what will be the case? Again, it will be error. So I'll remove that also. Okay, and what if I make it as now what it will print? Okay, good. And okay, so now what it will print? Let me quickly copy paste another example. What will be the output of this program now? Nothing, no output. Statement is complete. Statement is completed is not defined. Okay, so is it not defined? Okay, it is not accessed. Okay, so now let us try executing it. So everybody told me no output, right? Okay, so I will make a small modification here. Yeah, so it is just a suggestion from a compiler so that you will not get confused. Nothing will print because is completed is false. In last class, I had explained, right? Whenever we learned about this operator equal to, I told that equal to means it is an assignment operator, and equal to means it is a comparison operator. Okay, so you remember, right? So here it is just equal to. So is completed is a Boolean variable. Originally it was false, and now we are assigning true to it. So after assigning, this if block will get tested, and that will go inside. For a Boolean variable, I can just put like this. Will it get executed or not? So what will be the output? Now there won't be any output. But earlier, we were actually assigning something and then using that variable to go inside. So generally, this is something that people accidentally make mistake. So instead of equal to, they will put equal to. Even in exams also, you may get it. And in exams and all, you may not, and you will not get these compiler suggestions for sure, right? So you can easily make mistakes. So you have to be thorough about things. Clear? Everybody? Why it was printed. So now tell me what is the output of this? Okay, so first there is a condition A greater than B. If A greater than B, then the result will be A. If this is false, the result will be B. So is A greater than B? So this statement is true or false? It is false, right? A is not greater than B. So let us see what will happen. So the answer is 5 because A is not greater than B. So this will be assigned to R and that will be printed. Okay, there is a question, why question mark? Okay, that question mark is the operator. Okay, so before that conditional operator, you need to have some true or false condition. And after that, the conditional operator. So this combination. Okay, so this combination is the conditional operator syntax. So whatever comes before, if it is true, then the first one will be assigned. And if it is false, then the second part will be assigned. Yeah, so it is just like a if else condition. So this is the if part and this is the else part. So this is a shorter form of if else. So now we will see something which is a little more interesting, which is switch statements. Switch, you have a variable here int abc of 7, and then you can say switch of abc, and then you can have cases. So case 1, if case 1 is true, then this will print, and then this break statement will take you outside of this switch block. And if case is 5, this will be printed. And if nothing is there, default will be printed. And you have also have case 7. I'll remove the extra spaces. What do you think this will print? Everybody has to answer what you think. If you do not know, you can just say nothing. Okay, shall we run? Okay, it is case 7. Clear? So case 7 was successfully found. So you did not have to go to default. Ideally, default should be kept in last to avoid any kind of confusion. Okay, so now if I remove this break here, what will happen? And if I run now, what will be the output? Let me run. It will be 7 again. Okay, because this switch statement will check for where if case 7 is there or not, and it will get printed. Clear? And what if I make it case 1? What will be the output? 1. Without any doubt, answer is 1. Okay, so this one you answer correctly. What if I put 2 here? Everybody look into it, think about it, and answer. What will be the output? Okay, everybody are typing their answers. Let me run it. The answer will be default and 7. Why? So this switch statement will only take care of reaching that place. Okay, taking you to that place, taking you to that case. If case 1 is there, it will take you here. If case 2 is there, it will take you there. If case 5 is there, it will take you here. And if case 7 is there, it will take you here. And if something you mention like the 2, which is not there, it will take you to the default. And since brake is not there, what will happen if brake is not for our car? You will continue to go forward, right? So similarly, it will continue to go forward until you find a break. Okay, now everybody should answer correctly. What will be the output for this one now if I run? Everybody should tell me what will be the output of this one if I run. Okay, let me run. See, it is 5 default 7 until you find the break. So a switch statement will only take you till that matching case, or default in case if there is no matching case. Now after that, all statements will be executed until a break is found. So are you clear about the concept of break? So many of you asked about break, right? Okay, there is a question from Varun. If break is not there in the end, what will happen? If I run, what will happen? It will just come out because there is no loop here, right? So we have not learned loop. Okay, so Michael has a question. The condition is compared to case number. Yes, it will be like if this will be like if ABC equal to 1. This will be like if ABC equal to 5. This will be like if ABC equal to 7. Okay, so condition is compared. This variable is compared with each of the cases. If now none of the cases work, then default. Clear? So ideally you should be putting a default in the end, but so that is a good practice. But even if you put a default in between, it will still work. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so now if I put a string here, I'll change this to a string. And then, okay, so now what will happen? What will be the output? Okay, it will be 1. And what if I do not assign anything? Okay, here itself. And what if I assign to null? What will be the output now? Okay, you will get an error called null pointer exception. Okay, null is a keyword in Java that says nothing. So you cannot compare, because if it was a field or variable, you will be comparing directly using equal to. But whenever you are comparing to string objects, you will not be using equal to. You will be using a method called equals. I'll tell you why that error is there. Okay, so if we have two integers, int A equal to 5, int B equal to 10, and how do we compare? We compare Boolean C equal to A equal to B. Let me make it 5. Okay, so what will be the value of C now? Okay, as you can see, it was true. Okay, so this is a condition, right? Equal to evaluate a condition, and the result is a Boolean. So that Boolean is C. So here we are not using it. So it is just a warning, not an error. Okay, so here we are telling a value C is always true. Why do you have to print it? Okay, so that is just a IntelliJ idea suggestion that you can ignore. At some places you are, I know that you are not actually thinking, you are just looking at error in ID and then telling that, okay, there will be error. Okay, clear until now? I'll have a string. String is a class, right? So string S1 equal to new string ABC. string s2 equal to new string of ABC. So now if I print of s1 equal to s2, so this time I did not use a separate variable. I'm just printing directly inside it. Okay, so now what will be the output? Okay, so there's a question from Vidya. What if it is an empty string? So empty string means there is something. Okay, null means there is nothing. Okay, so now what will be the output? Okay, so yeah, our old one is still there. Let me remove that. Okay, it is false, because whenever you are using this new string, actually a new object is created in memory. A new object is created in memory, and hence it will be two different objects, and we are comparing two different objects here. Equal to. So how does we learned in Java, right? Reference types and primitives. Primitive means int A, int B are primitives. So whenever you use equal to, their values are compared. So what do you think is the real value inside this S1 and S2? Whenever you have a reference type, as I mentioned earlier, the actual object will be created in heap and considered as a different kind of memory. And the address of that object will be assigned to this variable. So now you are not comparing the values, but the address that is belonging to these two variables, S1 and S2. Clear? And hence S1 equal to S2 is false. So what if I do system dot out dot println and I say S1 dot equals of S2. So now what will be the output of second one? Okay, so the second one is now true, because this equals method compares if these two are actually having same value. We will learn about equals thoroughly in a different session after we learn about object-oriented programming, inheritance and all. But now just think that, okay, for classes that have implemented this method called equals, whenever you do S1 dot equals of S2, it will actually compare the values. And string is a class that is created by Java, right? So Java has already implemented this equals method. So what will happen if I run now? Let us consider this will be always true, right? So let us not consider there. Okay, what will be the output now? Answer is false, right? So here we are creating a new object. So what if I change the order? So now what will be the output? Again, it is false, right? So these are two different objects. And what if I write, so now what will be the output? Okay, so this is true because of one reason. So internally, even though you are doing like this, Java will be creating a string object. But Java has this concept of string pools. Okay, so this ABC is called as a string literal. So this, whenever you create an object, so then of string object like this, Java will check if there are any other ABCs already created in the pool. If it is already created, so this one, second one will directly connect to that first one. That is why whenever you are using this syntax, both these objects are same, because S1 and S2 will be referring to the same object in memory. So these are created in a special location called as a string pool. Okay, the concept of a string pool you can read, else we will discuss in another session. with, I'll draw and then I will explain it, because we cannot look into internals. It is string pool. Just imagine that, okay, it is the concept of pooling, right? So whenever you are creating an object, it will be put in that pool, and next time it will be just pointing to the same one in the pool. Yeah, we can compare string length also. Okay, so you have many methods for string. So if in an IDE, if you just click, then you can find out, if you just put a dot and click, then you can find out what are the methods available: equals, length, character, chars. There are a lot of methods available. If you just search for Java 11 and string, you can go to the Java 11 string class, and then you can read about the string class, and then see all the constructors that are available and also the methods. Read through these things. It could be useful later whenever you are working with any other string operation. Okay, so just read all these things as an assignment and ask if you have any doubt at all. So another important concept is loops, and you have different loops. For loop, we have for each loop, while, and do while. Okay, so these are kind of easier ones. For use, we'll see an example. Okay, so we'll just take this example here. So what do you think this will do? Okay, first it will initialize a variable called I here, and then you have a condition as the second thing. After this semicolon, you have a condition that checks every time before executing this loop. Java will check this condition if it is true or false. And then you have one statement that will be executed every time at the end of the loop. Okay, so here this is a for loop, and you have a int I equal to 0. So this is the initialization part. You have I less than 5. This is a condition. So in the initialization, we declare a variable called I and give it a value of 0. So then there is this condition I less than 5. This will be executed or checked. This will be checked every time before executing this for loop, or before going inside this for loop. And finally, you have I plus plus, which meaning the meaning of I plus plus you already know. So I plus plus increments the value of I, and this is done every time the loop is over. So now if I run this, what will be the output? Okay, let me run this. It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now tell me, what will be the output of this for loop? Okay, Michael has a question. Why is 0 outputted when the first check is it is 0 and we already incremented 1? So I mentioned, right, this increment happens only at the end of the loop, not at the beginning. So this check happens at the beginning, but increment only happens at the end of the loop. So at the beginning, it is 0. Clear, Michael? Everybody have different answers. Let me run this. This is a bit tricky. So initially, I equal to 0 and j equal to 5. I is still less than 5. That is true. So I plus plus and j minus minus are not done now. So what is I plus j? It is 0 plus 5. It is 5. So next time, I is getting one more and j is getting one less. So the sum will remain 5 itself, right? Every time I is incrementing 1 and j is decrementing 1. So the sum of I and j will be always 5, right? In all the iterations. What will be the output of this one? You have to use your brain. It's a good exercise, right? Do you agree that you are getting good exercise for your brain with our Java classes? Let us run and see. Okay, it is all 5s. So now what if I do int I equal to 10? Okay, so variable I is already defined. So you remember about scopes and all, right? Okay, there's a question why output came 6 times 5. Okay, so the reason is because here it printed 5 and here it printed the sixth one. So outer print statement is also executed. So that is why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 print state, 6 fives. Clear, all of you? There is a for each statement that we will see later after learning about arrays and array lists. Okay, so let me just give you another quick question. What will be the output of this one? So can you predict the output of this one? So answer is 0 and 1. So after when I becomes 2, break will take you out of this for loop. So only until then it will be printed. One more. Okay, so what will be the output this time? Break means you will be taken out of this loop. Continue means you will skip rest of the loop and then go to the beginning of the loop again. So it will do the check and it will continue. So in this loop, if this was not there, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If this statement was not there, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I equal to 2 is true, then the next statement will be executed. If it is break, what will happen? It will come out of this loop here. If it is continue, it will go to the end of this loop. Once it goes to the end of the loop, what will happen? It will increment and it will check the condition and it will enter the loop again. When 2 was there, it skipped the remainder of the things and came here. And then it incremented. So 2 became 3. I became 3 now. And then I is less than 5. So it will come inside. So this is no more true because I is 3. So 3 will get printed. Yes, it will just skip. So if continue is there, it will skip the rest of the things and will continue running the for loop. Michael, so how a loop work is, first it will initialize. This is a one-time activity. Then before entering the loop, it will do this check. Condition, check the condition. And after completing the loop, it will increment it. And then it will check this condition again. Okay, so when it is 2, this condition will be true. So if this condition is true, then you have the continue keyword. Continue keyword means it will not execute anything after that. But it will not exit the loop. So if break is there, exit the loop. So that is the difference between break and continue. Break will exit the loop. Continue will continue the loop operation. So it will just skip only this part. Next time it will work like a normal thing. So what will be the output if I put, what will be the output now? Okay, so only one answer, one right answer I got. So will this condition be ever true? Can I be 2 and 3 at the same time? No, right? This condition can never be true, right? Either I will be 2 or I will be 3. We learned operators in last class, right? So that is why we are going in this order. Whatever we have learned in last class is definitely important for this class. And whatever we are learning in this class will be definitely important for next class. So this condition can never be true and this continue will never get executed. What will be the output if I run now? Okay, let me run. It is 0, 1, 4. Why? OR operator will work if any of this is true. So when I equal to 2 comes, this will work. I equal to 3 comes, then also this will work. So before we conclude, there are also a few more loops. Like one is while. So while, unlike for, while has only condition. So everything else we have to do manually. So for example, we have to initialize int I equal to 0 before while. Then we have to say I less than 5. And then inside we can print like before, system dot out dot println, or we'll use print only, print and I. And then we have to increment also manually, I plus plus. Okay, what will be the output now? It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here it is very simple. The only difference is this initialization. Earlier it was inside for loop or part of for loop. Now we are doing it separate. And this increment was also part of for loop, but now we are doing it separately. Clear? So now what will be the output if I run this? Let me run this. Nothing will be printed, right? Because this condition is false. So this is first tested and then the condition is false. Then nothing will be printed. I can take it and put it here in the end and put a semicolon, and the beginning I'll put a do. So now what will be the output? Quickly tell me. Okay, it will be 10, because irrespective of what happens, this do while will execute at least one time. After that only this condition is checked. Okay, are we clear with for, while and do while? Okay, so if you practice these things, if you do these kinds of problems regularly, your mind will be stronger, your brain will be stronger, and you will be, your thinking capabilities, your problem solving skills, all will improve. Thank you all for attending. We will slowly move towards our data structures and algorithms part. That will be much more interesting than these. I think in one more class, we should be able to get started with data structures and algorithms. Okay, so see you all in next class. Read the notes. If you find any bugs or errors within the notes, do tell me that also. And we will continue to learn and grow together. Bye bye for now, and see you all in the next class.